Good morning everyone. So I'm your social science expert, Miss Supreet. I have come up with the lesson 1 of Civics, power sharing. So I'm going to begin with the introduction of power sharing. When we are sharing power in a community, not only in community, at your homes, at your respective institutions, at your respective workplaces, wherever you are sharing power, when you are dividing the power amongst each other, that is called power sharing. Now we really need to contemplate that why do we need power sharing? Is it just to avoid conflicts? No. To have a smooth functioning or to have a smooth fulfillment of a goal, we need to have power sharing, which is very essential for our lifestyle. Not only the lifestyle, but also to avoid conflicts. Let's come to the two case studies as how the concept of power sharing was begun long back in Belgium and Sri Lanka. So, in Belgium, we had three bifurcations: Dutch-speaking community, French-speaking community, and German-speaking people. And Dutch-speaking people were 59% of the total population, whereas French-speaking people were 49%, and German-speaking people was barely 1%. Coming to the capital city. So Brussels is actually the capital city of Belgium. Now in Brussels, French speaking people was 80%. I would just like to draw your attention here. In Belgium, overall Belgium, Dutch speaking people were 59%, which was in majority. But when we came to this point that Brussels being the capital city had majority of the people French speaking, that actually became the reason of the conflict. French speaking people were in majority in the capital city but not in overall Belgium. So Dutch speaking people actually felt neglected and they thought that majority of the French speaking people are overpowering us. That became the reason of the conflict. And because Dutch speaking people were only 20% in the capital city Brussels, there was a hassle in Belgium. Let's come to Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, Sinhala speaking people were 74% and Tamil speakers were only 18%. So if you can see, the majority lies here amongst Sinhala speaking community. Sinhala speaking people were more than Tamil speaking people. And here also there was a reason of having, there was a need to have a power sharing because there were a lot of conflicts because Sinhala speaking people were dominating and overpowering the Tamil speaking people. Go. So this was just the glimpse of what was the composition of population in Belgium and in Sri Lanka. So I'm just going to give you once again a glance of what I actually taught. बेल्जियम में डच स्पीकिंग पीपल जो थे वो मेजॉरिटी में थे, लेकिन ब्रुसेल्स जो कैपिटल सिटी थी बेल्जियम की उसमें जो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल थे वो फ्रेंच स्पीकिंग थे. सो दैट वाज द रीज़न ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. डच पीपल एक्चुअली रिबेल कि क्या हम लोग मेजॉरिटी में हैं और जो कैपिटल सिटी है ब्रुसेल्स की उसमें फ्रेंच स्पीकिंग लोगों को ज़्यादा पावर दी हुई है क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा मेजॉरिटी में है, क्योंकि उन लोगों के पास ज़्यादा पावर है. तो डच स्पीकिंग लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा निगलेक्टेड फील हुआ एंड दे वर नॉट केप्ट इन पार. एट पार मीन्स एट इक्वालिटी in Belgium, and that was the reason of the conflict where the need of power sharing arose. Now I'm going to take you to the next slide. Please have a look. We need to understand what is majoritarianism. What is the concept of majoritarianism? It is a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country whichever way it wants. I would like to draw your attention here. By whichever way it wants, by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority, is called majoritarianism. Okay, I would like to give you one example. You have a team of 4 members where 4 members are important in fulfilling a task. Only one person is given the majoritarianism, and that one person is overpowering and disregarding the needs of 3 people in a team. Now that is majoritarianism when one is so powerful over the 3 people, over the 3 elements, that the one person is being at the majority and overpowering the three which have less power and which are being hampered and which are not paid attention towards. So this is majoritarianism, when majority, not only in terms of number but also in terms of overpowering. So majority, one thing is that majorly in numbers, that large number of population having majority. Like for example, in India, Hindus is a majority community and Muslims are the minority community, because Muslims are less in number and Hindus are more in number. But that doesn't mean that Hindus are overpowering Muslims, because we are living in a democratic system where everybody is treated equally. We have legislative, we have judiciary, we have executive, which is applicable to all of us in an equal manner. Not that Hindus are overpowering just because we are in a majority. Hindus are in a majority, but they are not overpowering any of the other communities, which means that the concept of majoritarianism in terms of overpowering does not exist in our country, India, because we have democracy, a healthy democratic system, which is enjoyable by every citizen of India, because we all have the powers to appoint our own government. Let's come to what really happened in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. You must have known that Sri Lanka was actually a part of India at one point of time, years back. So just after India got independence in 1947, Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. Sinhala community secured the more dominance over government. Now I would like to, draw your attention here. In Sri Lanka, there were Sinhalas and there were Tamilians. Now, Tamil speaking people were in minority. I think only 18%. 18%. I told you in the first slide that in Sri Lanka, Sinhala speaking people were 74% and Tamil speaking people were 18%, which were in minority. Sinhalas were the ones who were dominating Tamil speaking people. Now, when I'm repeatedly telling you that Sinhalas were the ones who were overpowering and who were dominating the Tamil speaking people, I would like to draw your attention that Sinhala speaking people वो लोग थे जिनके forefathers वहीं पे born and brought up थे. They had their businesses there, they were born and brought up there. Whereas Tamilian वो लोग थे जो लोग India से migrate होके वहाँ पे गए थे. They actually migrated from India either for the business purpose or because they were Muslims and they had to migrate from India. So these 18% minority who existed in Sri Lanka, who actually migrated in 1948, ये वो लोग थे जिनके forefathers actually India से migrate होके गए थे. जो Tamil speaking लोग हैं वो या Hindus हैं या वो Muslims हैं, लेकिन जो Sinhala speaking community के लोग हैं वो Buddhist religion को follow करते हैं. They were actually Buddhist. So Sinhala speaking people were Buddhist and Tamil speaking people were either Hindus or Muslims. Now this is the relevant information I wanted to give you. Coming back to majoritarianism in Sri Lanka, it emerged as an independent country in 1948, as I told you. Sinhala community secured dominance over government, of course, because Sinhala speaking people were 49% and they were overpowering Tamil speaking people. Now, they followed preferential policies. Every policy was actually favoring Sinhala speaking people. And there was no equality, there was no democracy, there was no preference given to Tamil speaking people. Now, the relations of Sinhala and Tamil were actually strained and it actually caused to a civil war. It caused a terrible setback in the Sri Lankan economy. Why? Because when there was a civil war, the civil war was between Tamil speaking people and Sinhala speaking people, but Sri Lanka actually disregarded Tamil speaking people and declared Sinhala as an official language of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka also disregarded the needs of Tamil speaking people, and the civil war continued and continued, but Tamil people did not get their rights, and Tamilians did not get the privileges, did not get equal rights as Sinhalas got. So Sinhalas were preferred over everything. All the preferential policies were in favor of Sinhala speaking, but not in Tamil speaking, not amongst Tamil speaking people. And Tamil speaking people suffered a lot, and that was the reason of having a civil war in Sri Lanka, because there was a need of power sharing, but that need of power sharing was not acceptable and did not actually emerge in Sri Lanka, but emerged in Belgium. Now I'm going to tell you how it emerged in Belgium. Coming to accommodation in Belgium. Belgium leaders recognized, because they felt that there was a need of there was a need. They actually recognized the existence and the need of regional differences. So Dutch and French speaking leaders, they had equal share in the central government. No discrimination, nothing. Equal 50% power amongst Dutch and French. Coming to the third point, power was also given to the state government. So if in a particular state there are more Dutch living people, Dutch government would be given more power. If in a community or if in a state French speaking people are in a majority, French government would be given the power. So that is how there was 50% power sharing in the central government amongst Dutch and French. Power was given to the state government. Community government was the third kind of government. Now, this system actually helped to prevent any kind of civil war, civic strifes among the community. Brussels, which was the capital city of Belgium, was also chosen as the headquarters of the European Union, and there also it was 50% power amongst Dutch and French speaking people. Irrespective of the fact that in Brussels there was 80% French speaking community. Coming to now where we began from, why power sharing is desirable. Why do you think we have power sharing? Now there are two reasons for it. One is prudential and one is moral. I would like everybody's attention here that when there is a reduction in the possibility of conflicts, जब लड़ाइयाँ ख़त्म हो जा रही हैं और लड़ाइयाँ हो ही नहीं रही, कोई वॉर ही नहीं हो रहा, इस वजह से हम पावर शेयरिंग रखते हैं, तो वो हमारा प्रूडेंशियल रीज़न होता है. प्रूडेंशियल रीज़न मीन्स दैट देयर इज़ रिडक्शन इन द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. व्हाट इज़ द मॉरल रीज़न? मॉरल रीज़न मतलब पावर शेयरिंग वैल्यूएबल है, हम सबके लिए पावर शेयरिंग वैल्यूएबल है, इसलिए हम लोग मॉरल रीजन को रखते हैं. सो देयर आर टू रीजंस. अगेन, एक है प्रूडेंशियल रीजन. पावर शेयरिंग क्यों डिजायरेबल है? प्रूडेंशियल रीजन के लिए. प्रूडेंशियल रीजन के हिसाब से व्हाट हैपेंस अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रूडेंशियल रीजन, देयर इज रिडक्शन इन द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स नहीं होंगे, लड़ाई नहीं होगी, वॉर नहीं होगा. मॉरल रीजन के हिसाब से not because of the reduction of conflicts. moral reason मतलब कि moral ethical है कि power sharing होनी चाहिए for the smooth functioning. Means moral reason means that to ensure the stability. So one is prudential reason, which means a reduction of conflicts. One is a moral reason to ensure the stability. So I would like to draw your attention here. Let us call the first set of reasons prudential reasons and the second moral. The prudential reasons stress that power sharing will bring out better outcomes, whereas the moral reason emphasizes the act of power sharing as valuable element. I would like to end my chapter here, and in the next course I'm going to come up again with even interesting topic, that how actually power sharing is done in our country India. Thank you, bye-bye, and have a great day.